Top of the morning to you. Welcome to the last day of 2025. Our heart is so full of joy because it's been a journey. It's not been easy to start 2025, 1st of January 2025 and until today. I wanted to say 35th, Cynthia. 31st of December 2025. What a journey. What a year it has been for us. I know it's been trying, it's been tough for some people. It's been a year of wins, it's been a year of stepping. However it's been for you, I'm so glad that you are able to join us on this edition of Idea Morning Digest, full of life, full of vitality, full of vigor, full of strength, and of course full of thankfulness in your heart. If you're not grateful today, I don't know what you should be doing. Cynthia, how are you?
I'm fine.
How does it feel to, sail through the whole year? I know that. You can't even find the words. You're overwhelmed.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I can just imagine, and I know it's the same for some of our viewers who, have gone through this year, how be it, because I know that some people had to lose their loved ones this year. Some people fell into depression. Some people had their business back off or pack off. Some people also had their business pick up. Some people landed a big gig. Some people got into a new terrain, got that big win they've been looking out for. Whatever the case has been for you, it has been indeed a year. And I'm so glad that we get to experience all of that together. For us at Idea TV, it's been a year of learning. It's been a year of strategy. It's been a year of a lot of stepping stones and innovation. It's been at the core of all that we do, innovating, enterprising, pushing the African narrative, pushing the positive African stories, because we realize that over time, many stories around, especially innovation in Africa, is told by foreigners and is not told in the way that we want it to be told, which is why our founder, in his wisdom, said, let us have the idea bulletins to push the stories. And I think that's one big win for us at Idea TV this year, having those bulletins out there, having those stories out there, having people featured, having organizations featured. Well, I'm not here to give speeches. This is Idea Morning Digest, and I'm with Cynthia today. Together we'll be looking at top stories trending. And before we do that, let's look at the headlines. First headline says, TINUBU insists new tax laws begins tomorrow despite objection.
And banks to charge 50 naira stamp duty on transfers from January 1st.
We'll also be looking at NESREA shorts KADUNA oil facility over air pollution.
Cameroon moves to curb gold smuggling and targets artisanal mines.
With that, let's go on a short break. After this break, we'll be back with, the details of the stories. Stay with us.
Smart apps. Smart apps leverage AI and machine learning to provide personalized user experiences and automate tasks. These apps are being used across sectors like finance, healthcare, and retail to improve customer engagement and operational efficiency. For example, smart investment apps offer tailored financial advice, while healthcare apps assist in diagnostics. However, data privacy remains a concern as these apps collect sensitive user information. The market for smart apps is projected to grow to $62.4 billion by 2025. (5G) technology. 5G technology promises to be a game changer by delivering ultra-fast internet speeds, low latency, and the ability to connect millions of devices seamlessly. It's going to fuel the future of smart cities, autonomous vehicles, and IoT devices, allowing them to communicate in real time. However, 5G rollout isn't without hurdles. High costs of infrastructure and regulatory issues in some regions have slowed down implementation. By 2026, the 5G market is expected to be valued at $667.90 billion, with the US, China, and South Korea leading the change. The challenge? Cybersecurity risks and data privacy will remain top concerns as more devices become connected. Augmented reality, AR, and virtual reality, VR. AR and VR are transforming the way we experience the world, offering immersive digital environments in everything from gaming to training simulations. AR overlays digital elements onto the real world, think Pokemon Go, while VR immerses users in a completely virtual space. Industries like real estate and education are adopting these technologies for virtual tours and interactive learning, but the cost of high-end equipment remains a barrier. Despite that, the AR/VR market is projected to reach $209.2 billion by 2025, driven by advancements in hardware and 5G networks.
Welcome back from that short break. Let's now get into the stories properly. The first is that President Bola Tinubu says Nigeria's new tax laws will take effect tomorrow, insisting the reforms will proceed despite objections from opposition parties. In a statement, the president said the laws with additional provisions scheduled for January 1st, 2026 are aimed at restructuring the tax system, improving fairness and strengthening the country's fiscal foundation, adding that no serious issue has been established to justify delaying implementation. The opposition, that's People Democratic Party, has rejected that position, urging the presidency to suspend the commencement date. The party says there are discrepancies between the version of the law passed by the National Assembly and the one later gazetted, warning that any suspected illegal insertions must be investigated before enforcement. It argues that public welfare, not revenue, should guide government action. Meanwhile, the Nigerian Employers Consultative Association has backed the take-off date, warning that delaying the reforms would harm the economy. The group says imperfections can be corrected through amendment and has called for continued engagement, stressing that moving forward with implementation is critical for stability and long-term economic reform. Cynthia, the whole of yesterday, I kept seeing people talking about publicizing the description that people should have when they are making transfers. And a lot of people have said, do you think that the government really cares about the description? It's about your income. I'm not sure the government cares about it, but well, all of those questions will be put to rest tomorrow. Tomorrow is just a few hours away, and we'll get to find out what the Nigerian president is saying. But people are raising concerns, and I also have that same concern. 4 hours power supply, you're going to be sure of adequate health facilities. Then you now look at what happened to Anthony Joshua, and you're wondering, does Anthony Joshua not pay tax? Because I know he has properties in Nigeria, and those properties do not just exist. But you see how the Nigerian situation still crumbles you, whether you're a taxpayer or not. So whether we're having a new policy or not, that's not really a big deal. I think the concern for Nigerians is not about paying the tax. It's about dividends. What do we hold on to say, I have paid my tax and I'm enjoying this? Because it would be very shameful and sad that after all of these tax reforms, people still cannot afford good health or quality health services, cannot afford quality education. People still have to stress so much, stress too many things to survive being Nigerians. It will be very sad. And I'm saying this because I know that right from my childhood, my mom has been talking about her tax. You don't even touch your salary without your tax being deducted. It's paramount. They have to just take it. And so imagine a person like my mom now, he's a civil servant, so you'd have to take more taxes from her. Because I think this conversation is not really clear. And that's why I can understand when the opposition says that we need to hold on, first off, because we've seen some discrepancies. We're not the one who said it. The people are coming out to say, oh, this one that has been passed into law is different from what the National Assembly was talking about. There's been some edits here and there. So if we are not certain about what has been passed into law and people are not fully aware, because I'm not even sure that the awareness, we didn't have enough time. All of that, all of that awareness campaign was so short. People are still confused. I saw somebody wrote yesterday for goat medicine on description. People are still trying to navigate this whole tax reform thing. And until people are taught to the barest minimum, people are understanding better, we will not make progress because you have people fighting in the banks. Let's just get ready because it's not going to be funny. People will have to fight. You cannot tell me that you have to keep deducting monies and I'm not seeing what you're deducting for. I will hold you by your chest. I will. So while we are saying, oh, the new tax reform is all of that, are we ready to ensure that their dividends still back all this up? Cynthia. Excuse me.
I mean, the president is taking a very strong stance here, despite all the objections, and I wonder why he's overlooking the objections from people. Not just because it's not just from ordinary citizens. We're talking of political parties. We're talking of unions, like the NLC too is not in agreement with this. PDP have come out to say theirs. So many others, and I know few other agencies and organizations are looking for a way to align with the reforms. But still, I feel like him overlooking or some. I don't want to use the word disregard because I want to be safe. Let me just use the word. Yes, I want to play safe here. Yes. The fact that he's overlooking
Cynthia, okay.
People's concerns is very disturbing to me.
Cynthia tomorrow,
before they pick me, well, thank God my salary is not up to what will be taxed. They say pay as you earn, and this way some of us will be happy now. Small, but not for progress, But then I think people, it's only right for people who have witnessed so many ungoverned systems, who have felt very unprotected. Nigerian citizens have felt very unprotected. To ask questions. They have to pause and think and say, verify these things. First of all, we are in a society where a lot of people are not really, we have a lot of uneducated people. A lot of uneducated people. And when I say education, it's not just the 4 walls of university. A lot of people have gone to the 4 walls of the classrooms and whatnot, and they still do not, because of our systems, our educational system too is not even good. These things that we are supposed to use the tax for is not even good. So people want to understand tax in the first place. A lot of people do not understand. Secondly, if they understand that they need to pay tax, we are not getting the dividends of this tax. So those are people's concerns. All these things are people's concerns. People want to understand. So when PDP came out and objected it, I was like, okay, we felt like it's an anti-reform strategy. They are trying to, fight the government. But no, when you look at it very well, you see that their argument is very legal. It's very legal and very procedural. Because, they claim that one version came out of the this thing, then another thing was gazetted. It's very somehow to me. The National Assembly is passing another thing, and the President and the Tax Reform and Policy Committee Chairman Oyedele is coming out to say, no, this was not what we released. What was gazetted is different from what the National Assembly, what was released is different from what the National Assembly gazetted. So it's just, I think that's a very serious allegation, because we want to, people want to understand, what are we paying tax for? Where is our tax, going to? Where our tax is going to? We want to understand these things. I was talking of different irregularities with taxing and multiple tax systems in Nigeria. I was giving an example yesterday where I was coming to work yesterday, and then the taxi driver was being harassed by one agboro. That's a form of tax.
Yeah, it's tax.
It's an indirect taxing system again. This one is taxing you. Unions are also taxing the man. One came with paper. Those ones are
and
unions.
Different.
Different. And then when he got to another junction, we've moved past where we were coming from to another junction. He wanted to pick person, but another set of agboros and unions are taxing. And these people are not even fighting themselves. They know that you are getting, this one is getting their own, this one is getting their own. So all of those things, we have to be fair. The president has to, you coming to take a stance that this tax must start January 1st. It means that you do not have the people's interest at heart.
We are saying January 1st, it sounds fast
tomorrow. And they are saying it's pro people's, according to Oyedele's words, is pro people, and then people are objecting. Then you have to come out and say, okay, why are you people objecting? Oh, let's do the balance and check. Just the way the budget was moved to, the appropriation of the bill was moved to April or March, I think March of 2026. That's the way I want this one to be moved, so that we'll get the people's concerns. What are people saying? Why are people this concerned? Well,
Don't take
according to
action
them,
now.
they say it's going to favor low-income earners.
That's what they say.
Maybe, I
Cynthia.
don't know.
Because I know that Nigerians already pay the pay as you earn tax. They already do the company income tax, value added tax. They already do custom duties. People who have, who do imports, personal income tax and levies and charges charged by local government. I wanted to talk about that local government levies, the ones on bike.
Yes.
Every time I get on a bike to my junction, do you know that at least 2 people will take 100 naira? How much do I have to pay?
To pay.
I pay 500 naira, and then 2 people take 100 naira for every passenger this guy picks. And so I'm saying this because it happened in a community, and somehow he erupted into a fight, and the driver had died. The driver of that bike had died, and it got into the government. The government denied knowing anything about it. So you do not know knowing anything about it, and these people sometimes come with their IDs that they were, given by the local government, that the local government chairman is aware of this. These are the irregularities that we're supposed to fix first of all, before adding. Oyedele is saying that these are not new taxes. They're only trying to ensure that you're not paying double taxes, the system is fairer. But if you've not been able to clear the previous parts well, we've not ironed out pending issues, we've not ironed out the trust issues that Nigerians have. People that have been paying tax, tell me why I will pay tax but I cannot go to the hospital and get the adequate treatment. When I have an accident, I will rely on the grace of God to save my life. When there are no paramedics, nothing to save me, but I pay my tax. So there are many questions that Nigerians need answers to, and I do not think that the government is answering it now. We are more interested in implementing a policy. And it is interesting because we are looking at countries like the UK. You see that the tax works for them. I'm not sure that anybody, you can complain about taxation in some of those countries.
Exactly.
But you will not say that your life is not safe to a level. My friend was telling me about how literally you have ambulances parading. You have, street trucks. How do they call it? Fire trucks parading just in case there is an outbreak. So you can see why you're paying your tax. And I'm bringing up this story because just recently, I think on 25th during the festival, there was fire outbreak. A building collapsed, Cynthia. People were trapped under that building for hours, sending out voice notes, reaching out for help. I'm saying hours, not 2 hours. 5 hours plus later, they couldn't get help. You can imagine how the kind of pain they had to go through to die in that manner. Their country failed them. I'm not saying building collapsed on you and you just died. That's different. But you were calling for help for hours. Help did not even go to some of them until the next day. So that is the country where people have to pay their taxes. And you think that the mother of those children, one lady lost 3 of her brothers. 3. You can't listen to the voice notes. They were in pain, screaming for hours. Like you could see how long these people were begging until they gave up the ghost. So you ask that one now to pay tax and you think she should pay or should be happy to pay, because I know that we might go through the hard way to get everybody to pay. But how do we sit down with our conscience at the end of the day that we are not fulfilling our own part of the bargain? If the economy is not going to be fair to the poor, I know they say it's going to exempt the rich, but when things happen in Nigeria, it doesn't think of the poor. Look at those ones who died. Look at Anthony Joshua and his friends. A dysfunctional society affects all of us, whether we are rich, whether we are poor. Well, Cynthia, this tax thing is going to just prepare tomorrow. You'd see things.
I just hope it doesn't break out into a protest, because some people are already clamoring for a protest. That Nigerians should not. They have been seeing a lot of Nigerians writing on their statuses, posting on their timelines and whatnot. That no, somebody wrote that I'm thinking Nigerians will start organizing and mobilizing to go out tomorrow and start protesting for this, because how will you say? I don't want to let me just let's because we're still talking about tax again. And now banks will be okay. We have the next story here. Banks in Nigeria will begin charging 50 naira stamp duty on electronic transfers, 10,000 naira and above from the 1st of January 2026, following the implementation of the Tax Act. In a notice sent to customers on Tuesday, United Bank of Africa. I'm reading this. Okay, United Bank of Africa said the charge, now formally referred to as stamp duty, will apply across all financial institutions. The fee will be paid to the sender, not the receiver, while salary payments and intra-bank self-transfers remain exempt. The policy aligns with Federal Inland Revenue Service regulations and applies to both personal and business accounts as banks and financial technology firms move to standardize electronic money transfer charges nationwide.
It's well.
Okay, 1st of January is going to be very hot. Tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be very, very hot, and I don't know how hot it is going to, be, because we're just talking about tax, and these are some of the things tax will affect. We have not even finished talking about the 6.8 naira, be 6.8 naira for USSD. We are paying for telecommunications and network providers problem. That's what we are paying for, we the customers. And now we are not talking about electronic transfers now. Electronic transfers, 10,000 and above. 10,000 naira, just 10,000 naira. I'll call 10,000 naira just at this point, because 10,000 naira is equivalent to 1,000 naira now in Nigeria. The spendings, when you check the values of the value of the spendings. And now you're going to be paying 15 naira. I have a problem with English. Yes, I have a problem with language, with how we frame things, with how we couch words and sentences and phrases and whatever. This thing is called electronic levy fees. So why do we have to change it? Because we know that we have to pay a tax now. We are the ones paying the tax. It's almost like as if we are paying taxes for the banks now. Now they are not saying it's stamp duty. I thought the last time I checked, they were taking stamp duty. So why are we changing electronic charges now to stamp duties? I have a problem with this English, this phrase. Well, I don't know, is it a name, maybe a word, but the title given to this new tax from banks, from us, their customers. But first of all, let's go back to, like we say, stamp duties is not even entirely new. It's not. But it's just I feel like what they're trying to say is that is the standardization and enforcement across, banks and fintechs that will change here. But how it is going to change is a problem now. It is going to affect all of us, because now UBA is the first to, most of their customers were saying, I think from late hours of yesterday to this morning, they were saying they noticed that the messages came in that the bank was informing them. I guess they want to do it. They want to run. How did the president say it? Let's hit the ground and start running before, let's hit the ground running. So that's what UBA is trying to do before January 1st. So in case their customers will not be met with shock. So they sent out that message that, okay, the sender is the one paying, not the receiver.
So I've said money to Cynthia, I'll still have to
pay for it.
Because they already deduct.
Doing that.
I'm trying to get it. First off, they deduct at least 20 naira. Then when by the time the money gets into your account, if it was like 10,000 naira, you'd not see up to 10,000 naira. It gets down to, I think, like 6 naira drops. After they've deducted 20 naira. So I'm not still pay 15 naira. So at the end of the day, I'm spending almost 100
naira or even more.
Is it a crime?
And they are now saying salary payments are exempt. Somebody asked a very important question when I was watching a TV show. How are we going to differentiate all of the monies coming into your account? And then that question was thrown to the tax reforms chairman, committee chairman, Oyedele, and he laughed first, and then he said, there is a form we are going to be filling from time to time. And then another question followed up again, and they asked him if those follow-ups now, is it going to be done by everybody, including those who are not going to be taxed, those who are low-income earners who do not earn up to like 500,000, I think it's from 500 to 800,000 naira that are going to be taxed. He said, he just laughed and he was like, yes, you have to feel so we'll be able. I know it is important for data gathering, very, very important, because I've always complained about Nigeria not, keeping our data properly, do not have a proper data. But I'm just thinking, how are we going to follow up with all of these things? Like, how are we going to do it? Then they say transfer between your own accounts in the same bank are exempt.
So if I have another bank...
See, all these things will translate into stamp duty, because it has been existing since. Why are they saying it as if it's a new initiative? When you transfer to somebody that banks with the same bank as you, nothing is going to be removed there and then. But then at the end of the month, wait, or you are just sitting down, one day you will just see 2,400 and something naira For what? Stamp duty. For what this? It is all of those charges, including the one you have sent to somebody that banks with the same bank as you, that has been removed. You have been taxed for it somehow, but they will not. That's why I say here now English is the problem. But then I think 50,000 naira, you will see it about 50 naira rather, will see it as if it sounds small or something, but it's affecting all of us. Because we are talking about alerts now will start coming in. We are being charged for that. Transfer charges, VAT. I don't want to start listening.
So I needed to put this out because you have to, if you're earning 800,000 annually, you must be taxed. I don't think anybody is even exempt. Which means anybody who is earning 66,000, forget it. You'll have to pay tax a month. So is this somebody that is earning 66,000, like a cleaner or, oh no. Let's head on to the next story. Let's just wait for tomorrow. Okay. It promises to be interesting, I kid you not. NESREA shuts KADUNA oil facility over air pollution. Nigeria's environmental regulator NESREA has sealed the sunset oil facility in Zaria, Kaduna State over what it described as dangerous air pollution from the plant. In a statement issued yesterday, the agency said the closure followed reports of excessive emissions that posed an immediate risk to nearby residents and the environment in violation of national air quality regulations. The statement was signed by NESREA's Assistant Director of Press, Mwamaka Ejiofor. NESREA says the action reflects its commitment to enforcing environmental laws, warning industries to install pollution control equipment, adopt cleaner production methods, and comply fully with regulations or face sanctions, including closure and prosecution. Okay, I think this is a good one. I like that the Nigeria's environmental regulator, they are already hitting the ground running, because I've always wondered if they are very active. So seeing that they've been able to close a site in Kaduna over air pollution, it means they are working. I want to see more of that, because if you come to, even in Abuja here, you still see some places where there's crazy air pollution, crazy one. People are dumping refuse anyhow, indiscriminately. You know, gutters are littered, and you're wondering, first of all, are these human beings? But then you realize they are human beings and they are Nigerians mostly. So NESREA has to get their buckets up, their hats up more, and get to the root of this matter. But more than just saying, I think we should start looking at recycling. I know earlier in the year or somewhere between the year, they were talking about, they had a partnership with some organization where they're introducing recycling of some waste products. So more than just shutting down some of these things, let us start looking at how they can become wealth materials to our nation as well. So let's not just shut down. Let's not just say, oh, arrest people. How can we translate everything into money for our economy? We need more taxes, right? And if the more you earn, the more you pay. So a win-win for everybody. Cynthia, let's take the last story.
Okay, Cameroon says it will shut down some artisanal and small-scale gold mining sites from January 2026 as part of new measures to curb gold smuggling. The Minister of Mines, Fo Callistus Gentry, announced on Monday the closures will affect sites that do not operate closed-loop or processing systems, following findings by the Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative showing a wide gap between Cameroon's official gold exports and much larger volumes recorded as imports abroad, mainly in the United Arab Emirates. Authorities say oversight will be strengthened through the state mining company Sona Mines, while efforts are underway to promote industrial mining, which is easier to monitor, as Cameroon currently relies almost entirely on artisanal gold production, vulnerable to smuggling across porous borders. Okay, so I think this system that is trying to prevent gold lost and waste smuggling is very important, especially illegal gold smuggling. I don't know about Cameroon. I'm very surprised that it is happening seriously in Cameroon, but I'm very aware of that of Ghana and what they are trying to do to mitigate it. But I think why this is happening is because of the international data on how do they call it, Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative, and there's this huge mismatch of Cameroon's exports very little gold officially, and yet we're seeing countries like the UAE and all other, like the UAE, they are recording huge gold imports as instead of countries like Cameroon, where we know that there is large production of such things, and that's because of that gap, that smuggling gap. So I think what Cameroon is doing, trying to plug that leak and strengthen their mining, and see all of the oversight in their mining systems and company, and also shifting gradually to industrial training is very important. I think it's the best way to go when you want to regulate a system. First of all, identify the problems, know where the problem is coming from, see the loopholes, do the balance and check, and then find ways to fix the problem. But I'll just say formalizing and regulating artisanal minings, as they say, I'm just looking at it so it won't disrupt livelihoods. They should look at the long-term goal, because some regulatory measures seems almost like short-term goals, but they should look at the long-term goals. And the long-term goals is to just create revenue, better production and mining landscape or system in their country, and also try to should I say safeguard their mining industry. Very, very important.
So I think the problem here is also the fact that the government of Cameroon thinks that you can totally, do away with the people who are having, because the issue is not the smuggling, is that we have people who run small business centers and small, places where they are producing gold and selling it illegally. And when the government says illegal, it may not be that they are doing backhand. It's just that the government doesn't recognize those places. And so what I think can happen is, why don't we build a system of collaboration with those bodies, with those small groups? Why don't we empower them? Why don't we find a way to monitor them and tell them, give them a target to meet? It's just like saying you're going to stop people who have the small water factories. Everybody cannot play on the big league. No. So you cannot just erase them away. They are part of the system. In fact, they're even part of why you can still count some gold. So what we can do is collaborate with them and, empower these people. You cannot chase them away. Some of them, it's their community. So you cannot do away with them. What the government can do is to ensure that gold doesn't live illegally. So you're empowering them. You're building a system where they can actually report to. It's like we've been talking about Aba in Nigeria.
Yes.
You see how many things we have, some products that are fake, they replicate some original products. Imagine that place is standardized. People are empowered. You know that if you're coming here, you can get standard, because they're working with what they have to produce what they have. So imagine that we do all of that in Africa. I've always said it. There's no continent that can beat us when we know what we want. But we have to stop there now and look at the headlines we brought your way so we can head on to the discussion segment. And the first story you heard was that TINUBU insists new tax laws begin tomorrow despite objections.
And banks to charge 50 naira stamp duty on transfers from January 1st.
You heard NESREA shuts Kaduna oil facility over air pollution.
And lastly, Cameroon moves to curb gold smuggling targets artisanal mines.
All right, with that, let's go on a short break now. We'll be back with the discussion segment. We'll be looking at the 15 naira per transfer, the new bank charges. What do we need to understand? What can we do as a people? So stay with us.
Augmented reality, AR, and virtual reality, VR. AR and VR are transforming the way we experience the world, offering immersive digital environments in everything from gaming to training simulations. AR overlays digital elements onto the real world, think Pokemon Go, while VR immerses users in a completely virtual space. Industries like real estate and education are adopting these technologies for virtual tours and interactive learning, but the cost of high-end equipment remains a barrier. Despite that, the AR/VR market is projected to reach $209.2 billion by 2025, driven by advancements in hardware and 5G networks.
Welcome back from that short break. We've just looked at some of the news stories making headlines this morning. And at the core of all of that is the tax Tax. You'll hear a lot of people talking about it. Content creators will have a field day talking about the tax and all of the reforms. But hear it here first. And today we'll be looking at the 15 naira per transfer, what the new bank charges means and what Nigerians must understand before tomorrow. Our president says tomorrow. Everything is happening tomorrow. So, this is a development that's going to affect millions of Nigerians, how we're going to transact, how we're going to move our money every day. So starting 1st January tomorrow, Nigerians and banks across the country will begin charging a 15 naira stamp duty on electronic transfers of 10,000 naira and above, following the implementation of the new Tax Act. The charge applies to both individuals and businesses, and it will be deducted from the sender, not the receiver. Well, authorities say this move is part of efforts to standardize electronic transaction charges in line with Federal Inland Revenue Service regulations. Many Nigerians are asking a series of questions. Why now? Who really bears the burden? And what does this mean for a cashless economy already under pressure? So I'm going to break this down with Cynthia. What does it really mean? Why does it matter? And what should we do going forward as citizens? And starting out first is the United Bank of Africa. I don't know why they are leading in this. I mean, why are they leading in implementation? You know, sometimes I expect that banks will say, oh, you know what, government, let's calm down. Our customers are trying. Let's hold on. But boom, you want to be the first to overall best in obedience, you know. There are many questions that are on the minds of the Nigerian or people who bank in Nigeria. And the first is, what exactly is the 15 naira stamp duty? What we understand is that it is a government-backed tax, not a bank charge, that is collected on eligible electronic transfers and remitted to the federal government through tax authorization authorities. So it is government that is backing it. It's not the government. And we are saying this out because I know there are people who will go to the bank to drag their tellers, to drag their customer care. There will be that tussle. So understand that this is not the bank doing it, even though we know that banks have been doing their own. But this is strictly backed by the government. So they have the backing of the government. It's a government-backed tax. And so they have to deduct it. So 15 naira from every 10,000 naira. If I need to send 10,000 naira to Cynthia, just 9,999 naira. You know, that's wisdom. But you didn't hear it from here. So, who are the people who are exempted from this? I don't know if Cynthia wants to say anything.
I think that's the reason why I went to a POS to withdraw money, and he put 9,999. In my mind, I was saying, this guy tried for me. He's withdrawing from my account. I was saying he tried for me. Okay, now I'm getting the picture is clear.
I saw it tweet the other day, and one guy said his friend somebody got something from him, and the thing was about 10,000 naira, and he told the person, I beg, send 9,999. No send thank you. I beg. You better make you chop my 1 naira than make I lose 50 naira. So you see, every time the government says they are sharp, Nigerians are moving.
Moving. Okay.
So who is affected by this stamp duty? It applies to transfers of 10,000 naira and above. So if you're making a transfer of 10,000 naira and above, you know, you can't escape it. So even if you're able to escape the 9,000, what if you need to spend 15k, 20k? So you see that we'll still have to pay. You cannot run. The government is sharp too. So whether it's businesses affected, personnel are affected. However, salary payments and self-transfers within the same bank are excluded. So when your employer is paying your salaries, they do not charge them, because it's only the sender who pays. So if your employer is sending the money to you, they don't get to charge your employer. But if you now want to send out your salary to somebody, send it to Comfort, to Chinatu, and you want to send 11k, they will charge you. You get the difference. They will charge you for doing that. I know that another question people want to understand is, why does this matter for everyday Nigerians? Well, I'm going to tell you one that we have written here. For individuals and SMEs that rely heavily on daily transfers, even small deductions can add up. So Nigerians are now concerned. about affordability and transaction fatigue. Cynthia, I want you to speak about that.
Before that, I want to, let me go back to that exemptions, people that are exempted, the salary payments, and
it's just like your employer
self-transfers within
the same bank.
We are trying to curb irregular transactions, taxations, right? And then they are saying salary earners, the way they couch things, I have a problem with that. Salary earners are going to be exempt.
No, you're not exempt.
Okay, salary payments, rather.
Yeah, so if your
salary
employer
payments are excluded because government understands salaries are already being paid through payee. We get that.
Tax.
So it's the pay as you earn or as tax. Then now, they will not still charge stamp duty because banks are now, from the explanation here, the stamp duty is not, stamp duty used to come from all of those document papers, blah, blah, blah. But now, since we are going digital, is now being, okay, since we are going electronic and whatnot, we're pushing for a cashless society, let's tax it through, online. And just looking at it, they collect tax from me from payee, and they still collect tax from me from stamp duty. That's double taxation. So when we are talking about, when the government is coming out to tell us about compliance, irregularities, trying to beat all of those things and curb it and mitigate it, and just looking at it, we are going back to where we started from. And they are the ones now pushing this double taxation. Imagine, we may see it as if salary earners are free from this, maybe only traders and whatever are going to be taxed, but I'm just looking at all of it.
Transfers now.
Transfers. I'm just looking at all of these double taxation. I'm just looking at it. Self-transactions within banks too. They say, the questions, we have so many questions here, but then you were asking something. I've forgotten my train of thoughts.
Okay, so I was saying that for individuals and small business owners, don't you think that it's going to cause transaction fatigue? Because imagine that I have to make transfers every day. I sell. I need to make payments every day. I need to do exchange of funds every day. And I get charged every time. Is that not going to be fatigued? I'm going to be fatigued out because I'm having to spend, imagine 15 naira times how many 10,000 nairas in a day.
Can imagine. I'm just thinking of all those POS guys.
So POS guys are going to kill us. That's it. And you see that we still have to bear the brunt of all of this. We will.
That's what I'm telling you. Somebody, he put 9,099. So, I was just thinking about it. Okay, the 999 from my account. So he's going to pay.
He would have paid, they'll deduct 50 naira
from him.
And by the time you get into your account and you're making a transfer to, they deduct 50 naira from you. So he saved you and he saved himself. But how long? That's not sustainable because you have to make transactions daily.
For somebody is going, let's say, POS agent is doing 40 transactions a day.
And people
that's like 2,000 naira daily. Like I'm saying, for those who are, and some people do more. Some of those POS, I've interviewed POS agents, and some of them make more than 40 transactions daily. And you can imagine, let's just use 40 transactions now in a day. That's like 2,000 naira on stamp duty alone. Multiply that over a month now.
Plus they pay for the store or the shop that they are staying. They rent.
Union. This tax.
That's
before you know, all of those small fees will become, they'll amount to rent money.
Yeah. Can you say rent, survival money?
Nigerians have the right to be sensitive to all of these changes that are happening. We have the right because this is an economy where we are already battling. The economy is very unstable. We are battling transfer fees already. People are complaining about that. We are paying SMS alert fees. We are accounting for maintenance charges. Before you turn, they will come out and say 1,000 something naira has left your account, maintenance charges. The next minute, so stamp duty. The next minute, electronic levy. This one. The next thing you are paying, we know we are already paying VAT services. We know we are already, so many inflation-driven processes in Nigeria, so many. And so it's only right for us to come out and be concerned here about 15 naira because it's like an accumulation of financial pressure now for Nigerians. And I mean, it's very burdensome. We have to be, it's very frustrating, Seth. It's very frustrating. First of all, it's frustrating to the public trying to understand it, the process, how they want to do it, because the government is only coming out to tell us how we are going to be taxed. They are not telling us what they plan to use these taxes for. If it's not a robust...
How it's going to affect me, how it's going to change my life.
If they come out and say, this is it, they give us a robust process. Let's see how, okay, we can now say, okay, but it almost seems like we don't know where to hold the government, but the government knows where to hold us. So, okay. I'm just
no matter they learn to look at it from, no matter the angle look at it from, it still feels like there is a level of imbalance. And a level of unpreparedness for this. We cannot be looking for a standard that we've not built capacity to carry. We can't. I am not sure we are there yet. We are not there. Like, we can pretend that we are, but we are not.
I'm even thinking of that the cashless society now. We're trying to push this cashless policy since, I think, 2012, if I'm not mistaken. And until now, we are still battling with cashless, the whole cashless things. And I get the facilitators of this, the ones even helping it, backing it, is the POS agents that have been even trying to, you know, facilitate or push this cashless policy to an extent. Because until now, and some, should I say, they have been pushing it one way or the other, and on another hand, not really, because it's more like people will rely on POS agents to do cashless, whatever, you know, do the whole cashless transactions, and then somehow you are withdrawing money because you want to have money at hand. So it's pushing for that, and on another hand, it's not pushing for that. So I'm just thinking, so many things here. These digital payments now, we are pushing for cashless society. It is going to attract a lot of deductions, more deductions, because we are already battling with that, more deductions. So it's more like, if I withdraw my money once and for all, I say, okay, today I'm going to spend this 2,000 naira, they are going to remove stamp duty. I'll go and withdraw my money and keep. So how are we now pushing for that, you know, cashless policy or cashless society we are talking about? It's going to cause a very serious tension on
Cynthia,
on
I don't even think
economy.
we're ready for the cashless policy. We tried the INERA thing and it didn't work. Because if you say we are ready for cashless policy, how many? It took some financial agents, how do they call these small financial agents, to push some POS machines into the hands of traders. For if you go to the market today, you can make transfers. But there are still people you cannot even make transfers to in the market. So how are we pushing for cashless policy? You go to the road, do we even have a coordinated transport system? Let's say you're ready to book apart from booking ride hailing, there is no cashless policy with the government vehicles. You must pay your cash. So if we are ready for cashless policy, there are too many things. It's not even the money that's the problem. Fix the system, fix the transportation sector, fix the hospitals, fix the schools, fix everything first, and then you'd see that naturally cash will just disappear. Because I go into the bus, let's say we have a bus, I use my card and I pay for it.
And it has to be cheap.
And it has to be affordable. So we are still not, that's what I'm saying, that I'm not sure. We are building capacity, but we've not built capacity enough to take the weight of the standard we want. So we must keep building. We have to keep trying. And if it's going to take us the next 3, 4, 5 years to do that, let's do it. I don't think there should be any pressure, because this is giving Lagos vibe. You know how they do taxation in Lagos? Crazy.
It's bad there.
Crazy. You can't almost do anything in Lagos there. You're not going to pay tax. You can't park. I remember that my friend parked a car by the road. We were literally just parked, just chilling. Somebody said we have to pay. Pay for what? That you parked a car, not at the wrong place. You know, what? And then you go to a parking place, you still pay. Somebody's directing you to park your car. They need you to pay them. I don't think that's going to cause anarchy. I'm not sure we are ready for that.
You cannot work in Nigeria. It's not like we are condemning this policy.
It's just that there are things that haven't been ironed out.
Not in this country.
But the president is adamant. He's saying it has to run next year. So I want to see it's good to see the pilot's face run out. So let's see what he's going to do with all the reaction. Let's see what he's going to do with the implication. First, let's do the test run first quarter of 2026, and then we'll know how far. Cynthia, your final words, because we have to call it a wrap.
What do I have to? I just like let me continue from what I was saying before, that taxes are not bad. This is not us trying to condemn taxes. They are not evil, but we know that a government cannot function. We as a people too cannot function without revenue, without paying our taxes. Without some form of financial gains from one way or the other. We need it for roads. We need it for education. We need it for safety. We need it for security too. We are talking about. We need it for. These are basic source of funding. It is a basic source of funding, so we should understand that. But however, what we are saying, or what people are saying, is just for the tax to be fair, to be proportional to, it shouldn't come at the expense of people's suffering. You get, so it should just be proportional. It should be open. It should be transparent. People should understand, and should I even use the word, should be very sensitive to economic reality of Nigerians at the end of the day.
Okay, I just like to say that this 15 naira stamp duty is touching every Nigerian. Millions of Nigerians. We keep saying that we're 200 million plus. Maybe we've gotten to 500 million. And so you can imagine the lives of people that this will affect. And we do not have a problem with more taxes coming in. Oh no, more taxes, no. But we do not have a problem with the government paying tax. In fact, every right-thinking citizen of a country knows that he or she should pay their tax. We know this. However, citizens want something to hold on to. And you cannot blame them for getting frustrated and asking questions, because they've traced antecedents over time and they've realized that we've been paying tax for time. Imagine I've been paying tax in my community and I still do not have anything to hold on to. So you can't blame them for asking questions, for criticizing and saying, oh, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do that. What we need are answers. What we need are more awareness. What we need is more knowledge sharing, so people can understand and be in tandem with the government. But that's the much we can take. I know that people would have more to say. So reach out to us across a different social media platform. The new 2026 tax, the 15 naira stamp duty. What's your take on it? What do you think is going to be different? Is it affecting you positively? Is it going to affect you negatively? Is it a good move by the TINUBU-led administration, or should something be done to make it better? Whatever your thoughts are, do well to share with us across the different social media platforms at Idea Television. My name is Chinatu Oji, and I've been with Cynthia Bassi, the melanin popping Cynthia. Bye for now.